Vodobatinib is a new tyrosine kinase inhibitor. It is a drug that is very specific. It has very few non or off targets that are different than BCR-ABL. Notably, it doesn't hit VEGF receptor. It works against most of the mutants of BCR-ABL except T315I. It does not work against T315I. So the results that are being presented are the results from the phase 1 study, particularly the dose escalation and the dose expansion component, focusing specifically on patients, the response according to the number of prior TKIs that the patients had received before. So grouping them into those that had received at most 2 prior TKIs and patients that had received 3 or more prior TKIs. And also looking at patients that had received previously Ponatinib and patients that had received previously Asciminib, as more and more we see those patients. And the results are actually very good. The response rate, both looking in terms of cytogenetic response, a complete cytogenetic response is very good. It happens quickly. By 6 months, about half of the patients have already achieved a cytogenetic response, and the molecular response by 6 months, about a quarter of the patients have achieved this major molecular response, and it continues improving by 24 months to about 35%. But importantly, the responses are equally good, and if anything, perhaps even a little bit better on the more heavily treated patients that have received 3 or more prior tyrosine kinase inhibitors. And also, it's very good for patients who have received previously Ponatinib. For example, by 24 months, 50% of the patients that had received previously Ponatinib already have achieved a major molecular response. These responses tend to be durable. Most of patients continue on study. Very few patients have discontinued, and yet the duration of cytogenetic and the major molecular response is beyond the 1 year. And also, very importantly, the drug has been very well tolerated, very minimal toxicity, really no major adverse events, and that includes cardiovascular toxicity, really very minimal. So a very well tolerated drug with high efficacy, and even in patients who have received prior Ponatinib, this is important because there's an ongoing phase 2 study that's precisely targeting those patients that have received multiple TKIs, including Ponatinib, and we're very hopeful that study will demonstrate that efficacy and hopefully lead to the approval of this drug.